Hi guys, welcome back. In this video we're gonna prototype the wireframe that we had created in the previous video that you saw, and we will be just creating the first screen prototype wherein we had a map, we had a text view and the button. So I'll just pull it off in front of you so that you can have a look at it. So we will be concentrating on this screen, which will be having an app bar, a map, a current profile, a text view which tells you about the current profile of your phone, and a add button through which you can go on to add this particular location as your silent zone and change your profile from your current profile to your silent profile. So I've pulled up Android Studio in front of me, and I'll add an activity to it now so that we can design it. So you can just go on to activity and create an empty activity so that we can show all our skills that we have, and name this as map activity. Okay, it shouldn't be a launcher activity. It can be a launcher activity. Generate layout file, yes. Okay, click on finish. It will create a empty activity in front of you. And now once the activity is created, we can start prototyping. We can start bringing our pen and pencil wireframe design live into a digital format. You can actually use other prototyping tools as well, like Just-in-Mind Prototyper, or there are a ton of other prototyping tools as well online, which you can download on your local computer or use them on the cloud. But I'll be using Android Studio for prototyping. So as we can see, the Gradle it's adding an activity. So let's go on to the resource folder, and in the layout we can see activity map activity, right? Just click on it and it will open the design tab in front of you. When you go into the text tab, you can see that Android Studio has by default loaded a constraint layout in the screen, but we won't be actually typing the text here. We won't be actually typing the code, but we will be designing in the design tab. So we are now in the design tab, and you can see on the right hand side you have a blue skeleton of the application which doesn't show anything, as there is nothing in the application screen as of now. So as you can see that first of all, we need to have a map fragment here. So we can actually use the palette on the left and go on to Google. From Google you can just click on map view and drag and drop it. But before we do that, we need to start this tool which is called as the auto connect tool. So auto connect tool, it automatically connects the elements that we drop into the application and add constraints to it. So in constraint layout, we have to add constraint to every other view that we drop inside the view group, inside the constraint layout view group. And instead of manually doing that, we can use this auto connect tool to do that. So just click on it and activate that tool, and then go on to add a map view here. So I will drop it here and we'll give it some time to load. Then we will expand the size of the map view. I guess this will be proper, right? So now we've added a map view successfully on the application screen, and when you go into the text tab, you can actually see a tag of map view added to it, and a block of code which is automatically generated by Android Studio, right? It still gives a red line on the tag saying that the view is not constrained, it only has design time position. So we will jump to 0 unless you add constraints to it, which should have been done by this tool, right? But now what we'll do is, first of all, we will go on to add another text view. So go into the text and pull down a text view right here. Once you do that, you can see that automatically the constraints have been added on both the sides, and this is really cool. I mean, you didn't have to actually pull down these arrows and add constraints yourself. Okay, and then we can actually expand this view a bit, which will be showing our current profile. And this text view, we can say, suppose it's in the general audio profile, right? So now it shows general audio profile, and I'm just hard coding it right now, but when we go on to execute the code, we will be creating a string resource and we will be linking that string resource right here instead of hard coding it. So now we have added a text view stating the current profile, and the third thing that we have to add is the button. So we'll go into the widget tab and pull this button right here, and you can see automatically the constraints have been added on the right and left of the button. So we can also go on to rename the button, and this can be done through the text here. So just write it, add as silent zone, and this button, on clicking this button, we can add this current location as silent zone. So we've actually created a digital prototype of our wireframe that we had created. So in this way, we have created a digital prototype for a wireframe. If we pull this up, it looks pretty much the same. That we have a map, we have an app bar to start with, then we have a map, we have a current profile text view, where which we have a text view showing the current profile, and a button to add the zone as a silent zone. And this is exactly what we have done here as well. If you go into the text, it will still show some constraints, that some constraints have not been added, as in here the view is not constrained vertically. Okay, so what we'll do is, like, we'll click on this, and as you can see, there are two constraints that are added which have been added horizontally, but we need to add constraints vertically as well. So just click on this button and constrain it here, and then you can pull this button down. So we have added a vertical constraint of 45 margin between the text view and the button. We've added 3 constraints to the map view, and there you go. So if we go on to the text view now, we'll see that all errors have gone because we have added constraints for all the 4 dimensions and for all the 3 views, right? So this is how you create a digital prototype of a wireframe. Hope you enjoyed it, and in the next videos we're gonna dive into coding the real application. So thank you for joining in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, keep coding.